she'll be the biggest female star ever because she can pull up from the parking lot.
She is a killer. She is stone cold.
Caitlin, man, she's a phenomenon.
She's the best female collegiate player ever.
Caitlin Clark is capable of magical things.
The basketball world is aflutter following the revelation of a shocking detail regarding Caitlin Clark's Fever contract. And to be honest, it's a game changer not only for Caitlin, but also for the future of how athletes approach their careers. Caitlin Clark is known for her unrivaled skill and leadership on the court, but she's now making waves off the court as well.
Knowing that before Caitlin was Brianna and Diana and Sue and Rebecca and all of those, Dawn Staley as a player, where does it go? Can it continue to climb, and will it climb on the back of now Paige Bueckers?
For anyone questioning the Caitlin Clark effect, we now have people wanting to watch golf because of her. We saw the kind of offer that Ice Cube made to Caitlin to play in the Big Three. That is $5 million to play 3 months.
What specifically did the Iowa standout reveal? And why is everyone talking about it? She has always been ahead of her time, and this most recent move shows that she is not just playing basketball, but also elevating the sport. Let's explore this momentous occasion in the history of sports.
And I'm so happy for her to get the $28 million.
With her most recent deal with the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark continues to be a visionary. The recently disclosed information aims to establish a standard for how athletes can use their influence to direct their career paths, not just about her. As confirmed by Caitlin herself and by insiders, her contract contains a clause that permits better travel accommodations, resources, and individualized support personnel devoted to her overall growth as a leader and athlete.
Caitlin Clark snags another honor. She's made the Forbes 30 under 30 list. Clark, who is just 22 years old, is the only professional women's basketball player on this list.
In contrast to standard team travel plans, Caitlin's contract guarantees that she can maximize her performance and schedule. The team understood that an athlete of her quality should have the best, so they included flexibility to accommodate her needs. This isn't about luxury. Rather, it's about making sure Caitlin, one of the biggest basketball stars, can keep shining without needless interruptions. This is being able to select travel plans that reduce stress and speed up recuperation.
Higher than the NBA. So I was like, oh, what's she going to get paid? Because finally, you can get a real paycheck. And then I saw it and I was like, this can't be right. Because this is what it is. In the first year, Caitlin Clark will earn $76,535.
However, that is only the beginning. Additionally, Caitlin will have access to a committed group of support experts, trainers, dietitians, and even coaches for mental performance. This shows that the Fever has a forward-thinking strategy by putting player well-being first and understanding how important both physical and emotional health are to success. It's more important to develop a long-term, sustainable career for their star player than it is to win games.
Now, these are some of the comments right here. She doesn't need to play for that whack job. She should just buy a rivalry. Exactly. Kayla getting that type of bag. Sissy probably isn't this vindictive, but if it was me, if they wanted me outside, I'll demand a full retraction and apology from Gino for his comments on the Dan Patrick Show, which we'll get to that in a hot second.
Her colleagues' responses to this revelation have been nothing short of fascinating. For example, they've been outspoken about their support, which may have caused jealousy to surface, but the environment seems to be one of sincere enthusiasm. The team as a whole benefits from Caitlin's presence, and her increased resources are viewed as a reflection of the Fever's desired direction as a franchise. In an interview, one player even made the jest that we should start winning more games to stay competitive if Caitlin is receiving all these benefits.
So Gino Auriemma talked about Caitlin Clark again.
From the standpoint of management, this action seemed obvious. The contract, according to the general manager of the Fever, was a daring move to redefine excellence in women's basketball. In addition to being a player, Caitlin is a franchise cornerstone and a representation of their dedication to the growth of the sport. By supporting her growth, they are also supporting the future of women's basketball fans. Naturally, social media platforms have been ablaze with responses to the revelation, ranging from playful envy to admiration. One tweet that went viral in particular read, "Another person remarked that Caitlin Clark is living the dream and that, to be honest, she deserves every bit of it after securing a first-class seat to the future of women's basketball." The prevailing emotion is one of pride in Caitlin's capacity to challenge conventions and motivate people to pursue greater goals.
If you're a college player and you're a great college player, like Caitlin was, the delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. There were actually odds on she's third or fourth in betting odds on being MVP at the WNBA.
But it goes beyond benefits and privileges. In interviews, Caitlin has stated that this contract is about laying the groundwork for long-term success for her and her teammates in the league as a whole. She has also expressed her desire to use these resources to boost her performance and bring titles to Indiana. This is a vision that transcends her intense devotion to the game and personal gain.
Angel Reese spoke to the media. She didn't speak to the media after the game against Caitlin Clark.
This moment transcends individual players or teams. It marks a shift in the way that women's sports are regarded and encouraged. Caitlin's contract makes a strong statement. Athletes should have their needs satisfied in a way that prioritizes their growth and well-being so they can perform successfully on and off the court. Let's not forget about the ripple effect. Young athletes worldwide are watching Caitlin's journey and learning that it's acceptable to demand more because they're seeing a role model who's not just breaking records, but also breaking barriers. The Fever are setting a precedent that other franchises will surely follow. Basketball is only one aspect of this. Other themes include empowerment, leadership, and having the guts to push the boundaries of what is conceivable.
The basketball. Watch Caitlin Clark, left side. She doesn't even look at her, waves her hand as if to say, I don't care about you, I'm not defending you.
Naturally, enormous responsibility comes along with significant change. Caitlin is quick to give credit to her teammates and the Fever organization for believing in her vision, even though she is aware that the spotlight is on her. This is not just her victory, but a collective triumph that demonstrates the strength of innovation and teamwork as we look to the future. Beyond just being an athlete, Caitlin Clark is a trailblazer, a leader, and a representation of what can happen when talent and willpower come together. Her agreement with the Fever is more than simply a financial arrangement. It's a proclamation of purpose that women's basketball has a bright, bold, and limitless future.
When we look at player salaries, people wonder, why are NBA player salaries 100 times higher than WNBA salaries? Because the TV money was 100 times higher in the NBA than it was in the WNBA.
What's especially noteworthy about Caitlin Clark's path is how this contract illustrates her capacity to go beyond conventional limits. By securing provisions that emphasize personal development, well-being, and long-term growth, CIN is demonstrating to young athletes worldwide that being exceptional on the court isn't enough, and that you can and should demand excellence off the court as well. The Fever's decision to fully support her vision is more than just smart business. It's a cultural shift. CIN is not just an athlete in the traditional sense. Women's sports have always been underappreciated, with athletes usually not receiving the funding or acknowledgement they so richly deserve. Caitlin's contract is a step in the right direction because it shows other teams, leagues, and even corporate sponsors that supporting female athletes is not only morally right, but also financially advantageous.
It is a little that Bird Magic moment, if you recall, from 1979 when those two rookies came in from a big college rivalry, one white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
Now it appears that other WNBA players are already starting to consider similar clauses for their contracts after being inspired by Caitlin's audacious approach. Realizing that this might become the new norm for superstar athletes, agents and teams are paying attention. Younger athletes in high school and college are beginning to have bigger dreams because they know that Caitlin is paving the way for them to enter a world with more opportunities and fewer restrictions. In a recent press interview, Caitlin stated that she is acutely aware of the part she is playing in this broader movement and is not only fighting for her own development, but also for the advancement of women's basketball in general. This isn't just about me. It's about paving the way for the next generation to succeed in ways we never imagined possible.
Caitlin Clark finished up one of the most remarkable years of basketball playing in quite some time.
And it goes beyond lip service. Imagine the impact of a player of her caliber entering a youth basketball camp and sharing not only her skills but also her mindset. That's the kind of ripple effect that can change lives. Caitlin's actions support her words. She has already stated plans to use her resources to mentor young players and take part in community outreach programs.
Like, whatever really happens with Caitlin Clark, I would say her big thing is to be ready for the WNBA season. And people are like, why? She's only making $70,000 in the WNBA. What is the point of her worrying about that league rather than trying to push for other leagues and other ways of making more money?
Naturally, there will always be detractors who wonder if such special provisions undermine the idea of team equality. However, Caitlin's strategy makes it abundantly evident that this isn't about entitlement. Rather, it's about pushing boundaries in a way that benefits everyone. By playing at her best and staying in peak form, she's assisting the Fever win games, gain recognition, and draw in more fans. In other words, her individual success essentially translates into collective success for the team and the league. Caitlin Clark is a star on the court, a leader of fit, and a true pioneer in every sense of the word. Her journey is far from over, and this revelation is just one chapter in her incredible story. Whether you're a fan of the game or are just motivated by her drive, there's no doubting that she's making an impact that will last for years to come.